Serving Tea with Kendi. I am your host, Kendi Mbaya, hosting Agnes, a publicist, TV host, and many other things. Today we're going to discuss about COVID and how COVID has affected the entertainment industry. Agnes, karibu sana.
Asante.
How is it for the entertainment industry?
It's tough, oh. Hey, it is very, very tough. Now we are an year, close to an year, actually an year and some few months in COVID. And of course, you know, it's an industry that drives one on. The main revenue for artists is concerts, performances, be it in a club, be it in stadiums, be it whatever. So you can imagine when there's no gathering, that is just means there's no income. And you see, we are in an industry where we have at the saving, even if it's saving, surely it's been an year and we've eaten into our savings. So it's dire, I can say.
But do you think it's anything unique to only musicians, or as COVID has affected everyone?
Actually, it's, well, let me say, there's people who COVID has favored because, of course, like the insurance companies. Apparently, if you, I was looking at the report and there's been spike in terms of their income in the year. It makes sense because people want to, you know, secure their health and all that. But majority of Kenyans, even before we come to the creatives, have been affected by the fact that, you know, there's COVID. People don't want to spend as much because of the uncertainties. We've lost jobs or there've been salary cuts. So generally, it's, I mean, the people who it was worked for, but also it's affected us in negatively, I can say, largely negatively.
Oh yeah, and the toilet paper manufacturing industry. I am sure they made.
You reminded me when the first time
toilet papers.
The first time there was COVID, guys, there was now lockdown. Guys, will not go anywhere. There was no toilet paper in the supermarket, and I'm like,
sure they recorded bigger profits than anyone else. Anyway, for COVID, the musicians are asking the president to reopen the country.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think the president just woke up one day and decided he needs to lock down the country.
Yeah.
It is because people were dying or health facilities were overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Do you think they were being unreasonable?
What I can say is, before he does that, who do we get someone to be asked what is the situation on the ground? You know, and that's for the longest time. I feel like the decisions that are being made and they are not involving the real people who are being affected by these situations. I don't have a problem. I'm not for people dying, for sure. I am not. But again, let me look back. Let me go a little back. By the time the people were organizing, I mean, the leaders were having campaigns and all that, what did they think will happen? COVID would have spread as well. So what you do, you go ahead and do what is not supposed to be done. You are our leaders. Then you come again, lock down the country. That will affect everybody. So I feel like we need to be engaged in these conversations. Like, how can we make the situation a bit lenient for everyone? Because you see, it's the creatives, and you see, it's an ecosystem.
Let me ask you again. What comes first, health or livelihoods?
I mean, health comes first, for sure. Even if we
have seen people in the entertainment industry sharing pay bill numbers and everything, meaning their health insurance is not very well.
People don't have health insurance.
Yes, very updated. So if these same musicians were asking us to reopen the country were affected by COVID, how COVID, I mean, an ICU, a day in ICU goes for around $1 million. Yeah. If that musician, that actor was admitted in ICU, would they afford to pay for it?
I would want us to be in agreement. Both me and you, we are in agreement. That one we agree. We are not for that. Whatever needs to be done, needs to be done. But again, Kendi, I want to ask, you know, now as we go now deeper into governance issues, why are we here? Why don't we have better healthcare and we have people who can take care of you get what I'm saying? We are dealing with issues that should have been dealt with, and now we are suffering because we do not have disaster management. We don't. Actually, because this is a disaster. Actually, it's a pandemic. We don't have any disaster management. Why do we have, like, KNH should have a lot of oxygen? Why is it not there?
But you see, whether KNH has 3 trillion liters of oxygen, the oxygen is not free. It is not free in any other hospital. And this entertainer, this actor, who's asking us to reopen our country, if that actor got sick, doesn't matter whether we have 3 trillion liters of oxygen, he will still not afford to be admitted in that KNH.
Yeah.
Okay, actors, entertainment, responsibility versus rights. You have a right to earn your livelihood.
You have right to health, good health care.
All that.
But
I remember in 2007, and I think I talked to you about
this.
When we had post-election violence, actually all musicians came together and called, they had a clarion call for peace. They wanted the country to go back to peace. We have had COVID for 1 year. How many musicians, how many actors have come together? You know, for COVID, it's a pandemic that is better managed outside hospital than in hospitals. It doesn't matter how many hospitals we build right now. What we need to do is control COVID. We have these people who have a huge following. You have a following of more than 20,000 people. Another person has a following of 1 million. So what if you people decided to use your channels to call people to observe the COVID containment measures? Because the earlier we lower our numbers, the earlier we reopen. Have musicians done that?
Well, last year we had a couple of projects that were done. One was a project, I remember, by PPMC, that's the Permanent Presidential Music Commission. It involved Pitson, Kinakarilo. They did a whole song sensitizing COVID. That was one. I know of other several artists here and there, but should more be done? Sure. I mean, we cannot talk about COVID enough. The
government cannot fight COVID alone.
No one can fight this thing alone. For sure, all of us need to pull together. We need to pull weight. Also, individually, we need to pull weight. That's when we talk about, in terms of even talking about the masks, the wearing, just continuing reminding people. But also, I feel like other people who could do very well are and I remember I talked about this, there's a time we did a show, and I'm like, you see those people who sing in the native languages, because fine, us in Nairobi, we could understand this thing. But remember, we are dealing with a whole lot of people in the rural area. So more can be done. But again, Kendi, let me paint you the situation. Walking into a studio, recording a song is money. Because the producer is not going to do it for free. Post-election violence and this pandemic, those are two different things. Because PEV, guys were still earning, So going into a studio and recording, that was not a problem. If artist X is here and artist Y is here, then we could pull in funds. But you see, in this situation, even if you want to say, because again, how does a song get to reach people? You need it to go to platforms. And so I'm feeling like it's a situation
cost sharing, like 15,
cost
15
sharing,
of
but
us
is
come together.
there even something for me to contribute? We're talking about someone who doesn't know where their next meal is going to come from. We're talking about someone whose house has been locked down. Are you going to think about making a song, or are you going to think about, am I okay even mentally? I'm seeing situations where people are not even creating.
I was going to.
People are not creating. I'm not able to write. I'm not able to even write a script, write a song. So you're telling me to write a COVID song? My friend.
Agnes, the musicians in America, do you think they are holding concerts?
Where? Sorry?
For example, like I'm picking a country randomly. America.
No.
Are they holding concerts?
Eventually,
so why would we have double standards here? Just because musicians are suffering, now let's reopen the country so that musicians are not living.
If you look at the outside countries you've mentioned, their rates are they are literally high. Like, it's even 3 times ours, you get. But you see,
if ours went 2 times theirs,
I don't want to say it in my mother tongue. You see, I cannot apply rules for America in Kenya. And at this point, I feel like I want to express it.
No, it is expressed by anger better in Kimera.
You get what I'm saying. So we cannot apply America rules for here. I saw France, the Europe Union, they have a fund, they have a kitty for the artists. For the time they're not going to create, they're going to earn when they're still at home. Because they value those people. You get what I'm saying? They understand it's an ecosystem. When the artist is not earning, it's the manager, it's the stylist, it's the makeup artist, it's the sound engineer, it is the clubs, everyone. It is everyone.
Okay, my other issue with musician is disorder.
That one I won't even.
Okay,
there's
so we don't even.
There's no.
I mean,
we don't speak in one voice.
We can't start. I am not a musician, so why would I start fighting for musicians? Right?
Yeah.
And you people will never come together. You see, the reason we talk about coffee farmers is because coffee farmers have united. They have a coffee cooperative society. So what are musicians going to do? How do you think you can fight? You're fighting the government, another person is fighting the government, then another one is earning, so they don't
that
care
has been
about.
a challenge for a long time. There's people don't speak with one voice, or rather artists don't speak with one voice. And I say creative problems can only be represented and solved by creatives.
Good. You led me to my next point. Creatives can only, their problems, I mean, doctors' problems can only be sorted by
because
a
they're the
person
ones
who has
understand.
experienced it. Creatives can be sorted by creatives. We have Jaguar in Parliament. We have KJ in Parliament. What have they done?
By where I sit and where you sit, clearly, I'm not.
So how do you want the rest of us to own your problems when people who belong in your club do not own your problems? How do you expect me, a Kenyan?
I remember when we're having this conversation with someone who really is very influential in this country and in Africa, Pielo Lumumba, and he said, you see, we need to start this journey now. Because you see, I feel like everybody else gave up on the creatives, and we started.
I think they gave up on themselves.
Yeah, exactly, that's what I'm saying. And because they just, Kendi, you don't just wake up and give up. That's for sure. You just don't wake up and say, I can't do this thing anymore. It's a pile-up of frustration. So when someone is just thinking about them, I wouldn't put a gun on their head and blame them. But again, for me, it's not even for me. If I'm doing a change, I'm not doing a change because, to be honest, I might never reap the harvest of this industry thing. I'm going to be honest with you. But because this thing is generational, I will have a son who will say, I want to be a guitarist.
Yes, now let's move away from the government doing anything for you. Assuming the government doesn't do anything, what are you guys doing for yourselves?
So, exactly. So, there needs to be, what wajiite mkutano.
Wamejiita?
I don't think so. I'm seeing people always speak with different voices. I feel like we are in a country where, and we are affected, by the middle class problem. Me see any effect. So
that's what I was talking about.
It's that you people. And I always ask this question: how angry can we be? Because again, but also it's even Kenyans. As we fight on Twitter, we fight everywhere.
But that is not where was a fault.
Exactly, that's
was
what I'm
a fault in Parliament. How many bills have the creatives written? You can write a private member's bill. How many bills have you people written and taken to Parliament? So how are we blaming the government? Uhuru is not a musician. He's never rapped a day in his life. So how will you know the problems affecting musicians?
And that's what I'm saying.
When new people haven't introduced them.
And again, I'm saying during this time, and I'm always saying this, if we as creatives, and I'm saying we because when the artist is not eating, is not having money, me and sleep hungry.
Of course, yeah.
So if we don't call ourselves
together,
meeting, we put our house in order, that COVID needs to be a wake-up call and realize how unstructural we are, and it needs to be where we need to sit down and agree that this is the way forward, because surely we can't be like that, because if we don't go with one voice, even the collection of data, how is it going to be collected? So that one, I agree with you, it's been there, but again, you see, change does not happen overnight. We are talking about how many million of artists in Kenya?
Many.
Yes.
COVID. It's not going. The sad reality is COVID might be here even for 20 years.
20 apana. I don't want to be there. 20 you're alone.
Okay, fine. Let's say that COVID, we go to 2020 with COVID.
Yeah.
It's a reboot for the country, not just for the country, for the world, that we have to learn to coexist with COVID. That right now, since last year, most people have been working from home, that most offices have been closed, companies have adjusted. They have adjusted to COVID. That right now we can, even matatus nowadays, you find that walitoa viti kitambo, nikabaki ile
adapting.
Yes, they are already adapting. So here we have musicians who are still telling us that they need to hold concerts. We might not be able, that's the sad reality, that we might not be able to have concerts even 2 years from now. Because, I mean, if it's not COVID, it's another thing. We've learned something from COVID. We've learned something that we all need to wash our hands. We've learned that crowded spaces are not good for us. So even after COVID, we shall have adjusted to the social distancing and not going into populated places. So what are artists doing to adjust to that? Are we still going to be singing about tunataka kukua na concerts, tunataka kukua na nini, tunataka kukua na nini? Well, we understand that we need to move away from concerts. How do you sell your music without going to a concert?
Yeah, so I can say this now boils down to an individual artist, because what, as a brand strategist for artists and as a PR person, I usually say when the year is starting, do you have your goals or whatever you want to achieve with that year? And so it goes back to going back to the drawing board, you know, and realizing that this will not happen. So let me forget about doing the concert revenues and all that. That's not going to happen for a very long time. So, and I remember Mudhoni talking about this, you need to have a strategy of your brand, you know, in terms of, we are going digital, we are going online. So how are you going to engage your people online? This has been a testing time for the artists who have followers that are bought, you know, because now, that's another thing.
So Sauti Sol do something.
Yeah, even Yashinsky has done a concert.
Doing things digitally. So, and they've been having
but
digital
their financial
concerts.
muscle cannot be compared to artists who have not had a career length. Because let's all be honest. Hold on, Kendi. Let me cut you short. Even before COVID, our creative industry was bad. You know, it was bad. We are talking about, in terms of you have music, but you can't show nothing for it.
My problem with artist Agnes is that they want us to own their problems, like wear kid gloves and all. Let me finish, because we have seen this trend where an artist is sick or someone in the entertainment industry is sick, and it becomes like it's our responsibility as Kenyans. This person has been, and by the way, there are guys who even go as far as telling us huyu mtu amekuwa akitu entertain lakini gava haitaki kumsaidia. So you make it look like it is a government's responsibility. It is Kenyans' responsibility to ensure that you never go broke. And these are the people who drink teenagers. Okay, by drinking teenagers, I mean they drink drinks that are so teenage drinks.
That one, there are two sides to it. One, there needs to be, and I've always been saying this, financial literacy when it comes to creatives, yeah? And we've seen it a lot, because when you're at the peak, you want to be at the peak forever. You see, an entertainment industry is an industry where you don't get your, you get your money today. You get a small
get a lot of money today, then tomorrow you have nothing.
So financial management is much needed in that space. And also,
but you see, I go back to that, and I'll keep going back to the importance of musicians coming together, because when you guys come together, these are issues that you discuss, and these are issues that you as the entertainment industry addresses. My other issue is artists and, you know, the fame, that today you're famous, tomorrow you're not famous, and it becomes it becomes very hard to maintain you. And later, what happens is the mental instability. Mental stability has not
as much as we can come together as an industry. Of course, we've seen other people, their circles, their everything. Kendi, this is personal. You see, I could know I need financial literacy. I could even have it. But if I don't apply, then it doesn't make sense.
We have kina nameless people who've been here.
Yes, and you see they're okay.
And still they're okay.
Yes, and also they diversified, because what I say, open a business. Fungua kuku kwenyu. Weka kuku za kienyeji. Anza kulima.
Hiyo ndio nilikuwa nasema, that hatuwezi kaa hapa kama tunaimba fungueni nchi ati wasanii wanateseka. Well, I mean, all of us, si wote tunateseka.
All of us have,
si wasanii peke yake wanateseka. But now you're thinking, if we reopen this country, these same people who are telling us wanateseka, one of them is going to get COVID, be admitted in hospital, and then what? They don't even have health insurance. The other thing is that you people not you people.
The many people. You people that have experienced.
No, it's because it asks me every time I see an issue about the entertainment industry. I'm thinking, you want us to own your problem. We have other careers, and people, doctors come together, teachers come together, artists scatter, they don't come together. But the moment they have a problem, they want it to be a Kenyan problem. They want all Kenyans to come together and now start fighting. They want us to start fighting for their rights, which are not even their rights, because they haven't even made an attempt at addressing them. But they're still sorry to
but
all
also,
last
Kendi, let me tell you, because I've interacted with people who understand even like the IP, the laws, like who understand the law as in intricate details. Also, these things there's so much bureaucracy, and you know it. There's so much bureaucracy before even something passes, you know, because again, and I'm saying this is a problem that is very deeply rooted. We take creatives loosely. We do.
Okay.
We
Now
knew
I am on your side.
everybody
I'm a
as Kenyans. You'll even have your parent ask you, sasa unaimbanga na kufanya kazi gani ingine? You get what I'm saying? So the fact that we take creatives loosely, and I've been talking with people, like, I don't want to mention names because those are big companies, and those are conversations that we have had, yeah? Even funding, you know, being able to fund musicians and everything, it becomes like pulling teeth. It becomes like pulling teeth. And again, even the bodies are anyway. Okay. Ask your question.
Investing in music.
Yeah.
We have, when someone is in the field of financing, they go do masters. I mean, they build themselves around that career. Artists, on the other hand, it's a challenge, and so are many other careers. Most of the careers depend on your talent. For example, you can't be a mason without the talent in that field. When you go to artists, they only depend on their talent. They don't try to build it. They don't try to go to school to learn. Remember Nyashinsky took a break from music and went to
working.
Yes,
working in the
he also
US.
Went to a music school. How many other musicians? And by the way, when he came back, you could see a difference in the kind of work he used to produce before going to the music school and after going to the music school. How many musicians have invested?
Very few. But again,
how many artists have gone to acting schools?
Very few. I'm going to say very few.
So how are these careers supposed to take them to their 50s?
I don't know. Maybe now. Because again, it boils to individual. It boils to individual. And I'm saying it's a matter of a vision. And like I will say, you cannot, because we have been part.
That's what I'm saying, that you can't recruit us to start fighting your individual wars.
You know what I'm saying? I've been a part of a team for an artist. You get, so you have this vision of how you can grow, of how you can go, and how you can even do collaborations with other artists. Are you even improving on your writing skills? But let me tell you, if your vision is small, and I usually say not everybody has a big vision. If your vision is to remain local and still remain writing, that's okay. But you see, and I always say again, as Kenyans, we always look at the negative. We always look at the negative. When hawajafanya, when hawatupati content mzuri, when we have so many, we have like people like Nikita who are singing and they're very young and singing very well. We have a lot of people who are even like I'm forgetting her name, but I can see her in my head. She contributed to even Sauti's was recent album, I'm forgetting her name. So can we also learn to embrace the positive? We've been saying for a very long time, Kenya has no good music.
No, Kenya has good music.
It does, you see. And also, I see conversations online, I'm like, if you're not a fan, just shut up, because we have people who are doing the right thing. And you see, even let me ask you, how many people join teaching and they will remain teachers until whatever, no advancing to masters, no adjusting to PhD. So it's not just a matter of artist, it's a matter of personal goal. If an artist doesn't want to grow beyond that, that's a personal problem. Akifika 50, yeye ndiye atakuwa na mashida zake. You get what I'm saying? And also I'm saying, most of these people, if they have a team that would tell them, hey, you need to do this, hey, you need to grow. If you look at all those people who are top artists, Beyonce, sijui nani, they have people behind them. They have a whole team. So I think it's a matter of realizing we need more human resources to be able to manage this talent.
Okay.
Because we don't have enough managers. We don't even have enough publicists. I think we have like less than 10 publicists in this country.
But how many do they engage?
Serving how many millions of artists?
Do they engage the services of our publicists?
Who? Artists. Those ones who understand. And you see, usually say, my service is not for everyone. Yeah. If you don't get it, I won't bother. You get. I will tell you this is what I do and this is the value I add into your career. Because most of them don't get it. Because again, we have kuna ile individualism. I want to eat this 1 million alone. You gotta eat it for 1 year. As opposed to, can you come as together as a team? There's 1 million, tuikule pole pole kila mtu apate 100k yake, and we have 100k for the longest time possible. Okay. So it boils down to individuals.
And I don't understand this.
There's so many things you don't understand, Kent.
No. I really need to understand and you see, before I join your fight, before I start walking to the streets with placards written, open the country for musicians, for the entertainment industry, I first need to understand your problems and understand where you are where you offer solutions and where there are none. I was actually going to raise something that I've seen. It's very common that I go see a bad song Okay, a song that's not.
That is not
There's
of
nothing.
standards.
There's
no bad song.
There are no bad songs,
Yeah.
but a song I don't like.
Yeah.
I go see someone who's skimpily dressed. Who's a Kenyan? I can look at Kina Beyonce's thighs and anything.
Double standard.
But I mean, no. I'm not talking for me. I am just saying. I don't.
Of double standards.
I don't mind the thighs. I'm just saying that
Yeah.
we have no problem with looking at American thighs, but when it comes to Kenyan
Because
thighs,
they are white thighs, and we just kidding. I don't know.
not even the darkest. So when you come to Kenya and someone releases a video,
Yeah.
I say thighs, I say, okay, fine, let me stop talking about thighs a lot.
Yeah.
But I see a video I don't like,
Yeah.
and I think this is not moral. This person is misleading my children.
Who put your children
Yes.
as? Who told your
This
children?
person is a bad role model to my children. And
I'm not here to be anybody's role model.
and I tag Ezekiel Mutua on that.
Okay.
And kidogo, the video is brought down. What are the policies? I mean, what are our standards? What are we allowed to air or to record?
Of course,
What are we
nudity is
allowed?
not allowed. Of course, nudity is not allowed.
Define nudity.
Of course, if I walk here without clothes, that's nudity. Surely,
Okay.
If
That's
everything.
so you're
That's-
just saying nakedness.
yeah, you know, if I walk like the way we were born.
No. But you see, our
our
definition of nudity is very different. That everyone has the definition
That's true,
of
and
nudity.
that's what I'm saying. There's something for everyone. There's something.
No, I am asking now. What are the standards?
Where's the line?
Where's the line?
Where's the line?
When do I know what video to report, and when do I know to scroll up haraka, moving on swiftly to the next video?
I feel like there are people who are just trying to flex and showing that we can do because we
Don't
can.
you have laws?
Huh?
Don't you have laws?
They're there, but also again now remember we are evolving. So I feel like the laws that are there are still the ones zile.
Lakini unajua unaongea ni kama tulianza music last year. Firiride ilirekodiwa lini?
But Frida did it have a video?
Yes, it has.
Well, yeah,
It has
I
a
remember,
video.
yeah.
But I'm talking about, this was a video released in the 80s, and you're still talking about the same problems we were talking about in the 80s.
But again, I ask.
When we
this
have
problem,
people like
when
you,
our
very
Turkana
vocal
people walk
people.
without clothes, is that a problem?
No.
And we focus them on TV. So why is it a problem in the creatives?
But that's what I'm asking. Do you guys have laws
There
to
are-
prevent the double standards?
To be honest, I can't go into details of that without having like the actual whatever. But I feel like again, it's the issue of art and expression. We have people in governance who are trying to how do I put it, suppress creatives, and they don't understand. Again, an issue of the laws being created by people who are not creatives. That's another situation. Because it's expression. And I mean,
That is like having teachers sit in the, what is KMPDU?
I saw another time a panel that had no one in the music business talking
But
about the
why,
music
I
business.
mean, where are the musicians? Where are the actors? Where are they in those panels?
Maybe producer could reach out or anything. I don't know. But you see, again, it starts
You
with
see, I am talking about you people. Sorry for the you people again, but I am talking about you bringing us your problems, but even you have no solution to your problems. I mean, you haven't tried addressing them, but you want.
not that they have not been tried addressing. It's a journey. I can say where we were, Kendi, 5 years ago is not where we are.
So you're making progress.
There's progress, but again, because you're not in it. You see, to the world, the progress will come in, or the solution will come in when you're able to sort out all these things. It's a journey, you know. A bill is not made today and passed tomorrow. Like I said, it's a journey, and again, I want us to be very, very positive about it. And I said, change is not something that comes overnight. Are there people who are starting these conversations? They are there. I can tell you for sure. It's only that I don't want to name names. Are there people who, because let me tell you, this problem you're seeing here, this is just a tip of the iceberg. There are other things, Kendi, in terms of cuts, in terms of bad contracts, in terms of very dire things that you guys don't even know. This, what you're seeing, is just an aftermath of the very many. And I can tell you there are people who are, but they need to be joined. And you see, for me to convince you to join my camp, it's a process.
Yeah,
so
true,
we
true.
are somewhere. Pole, but tutafika.
Okay, we have talked about the problems. There's so many.
Yeah.
Do you have solutions to those problems?
Do we have them?
Yes.
But you see,
I mean, well, apart from maandamano na tufungue nchi,
yeah.
what
There are
else?
forums that are created. There are people who are in.
How are you planning to reopen? How are you planning to ease back into the economy?
That's a very tough question because one, you see, easing back into the industry means
I'm talking about recovering what you have lost.
yeah,
And
it's going to be tough because we will be the last industry that will get back on its feet. That one is for sure. Even if you read about it, even not even just here in Kenya, even outside.
alternatives?
The alternatives is we need to partner with other people who are corporates, who can be able, music investors, people who can invest money and be able to, you know, when we get back to be able to at least be on our feet. That's one, because let me tell you, everyone will get back to their feet, but apart from us, because remember we rely on corporates
A
lot for even funding for events, even some of the things like product placement, we rely on them. And corporates are not willing to spend because, again, of uncertainties. So also remember, we are coming up with solutions as we go, because remember, no one had seen this pandemic coming.
Okay. Social responsibilities. What are, I mean, what are you guys trying? Like I said, that we have to offer solutions to the country, and the country doesn't belong to the government. The country belongs to us. We saw people, like last year, we saw people who owned hotels giving food to policemen and to doctors. What are musicians doing to help the government? Believe you me,
to help the government to do what? Fight COVID.
To help COVID, I mean, issues, corruption, all the issues in the...
We have seen artists who have sung about these things. We have seen artists who are saying the things that should not be, even some of them who are very vocal on their platforms about the graft.
Do you think if we elected those people as members of parliament, they will offer solutions?
And imagine they wouldn't.
Okay, you want us to
listen.
The show at a very low point.
Also, the ones who are there, have they offered solution? They're not artists.
I want us to leave this show finally. At least one solution. Yeah. Like what can we do to help?
It's individual. I say solutions are individual. What am I doing in my little way to help where I am? I'm not starting to call Kendi is not doing that. I'm done. What am I doing? Me as a part of this creative business. What am I doing to ensure that if I'm not okay, my generation will be okay? I can't start recruiting people who are not willing, because again, it's willingness. It's not an easy battle. We've been fighting it for years. We are still here. Probably we'll retire without, I don't know, God forbid that happens. But again, it boils down to individual. Is it hurting you enough? Are you angry enough? Then what are you doing? Again, even for corruption, as we fight corruption, what are you doing at the grassroots? What are you doing at the grass? It's individual.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having tea with me, Kendi. I am Kendi Mbaya, and my guest was Agnes. Asanteni sana. Please stay safe, wear a mask, sanitize, maintain social distance, and wash your hands. Goodbye.